So much has changed on the TikTok platform. Man, so much has changed. And I have found myself being like, okay, there is something new with this TikTok that I obviously must be doing some type of 2023 strategy. And I decided to do a quite the deep dive about what is going on with TikTok this month outside of TikTok Shop, okay? Because we know TikTok Shop is crushing it, but outside of TikTok Shop, what is working for content creators? And today we're going to talk about it. So, welcome back to another episode of the Keenya Kelly podcast, where we talk about all things business, marketing and business, social media, TikTok, all the things here on the show. Today is a social media / business podcast episode because we're talking about TikTok marketing. Now, you probably know that I have been kind of in my community deemed as the TikTok queen, mainly because I got started on TikTok before many others got started, and we, built an audience over on the TikTok platform. And so, because of that, I guess my community says, okay, well, Keenya knows what she's doing with TikTok, da 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 da. So I'm always trying to educate on what is working with TikTok. Now, I do have to admit that I took some time off. I was still posting, but took time off from really knowing what was going on because I had the big surgery at the end of last year and then trying to heal the beginning of this year, most of this year, and then transitioning from California to Texas. And so that's a lot of transitioning in the last 8 months. And so my attention has not been fully trying to understand what was happening on TikTok until now. And as I've been on the platform and I'm kind of watching lots of people unfollow, which, listen, on social media that happens. You grow a following, you lose people. It's the name of the game. I have watched us lose about 1,000 followers, and I'm like, okay, that's fine. It's the name of the game. But I'm finding myself going like, okay, how do I keep losing the wrong people and gaining the right ones? And as I started doing a lot of different investigation, watching content, seeing what the page is doing, what my own content is doing, I started to realize that, okay, we've got a literal brand new TikTok, like literal brand new TikTok. And if we are not adapting our content to what TikTok is desiring and requiring, we are going to find ourselves not growing, being frustrated. And those of us that are selling our services there are going to find ourselves not being able to do that over on the TikTok platform. So with all of my investigations, I decided to do that deep dive, and I've come up with a list of like 6 or 7 things that I'm seeing is what's very impactful on TikTok. Now, some of them are repeat things, while the point is that even if you hear me say something that is repeat, what I'm experiencing is that if I'm doing some and not all, that I'm not actually experiencing the type of views, engagement, growth that I want to experience. And so it's going to be really important that if it is your desire to be on TikTok and create content, grow an audience and all the things, that you start shifting your strategy to match all of these things. So one of the first things that is working on TikTok this month is that, they're back to wanting you posting more often. Okay. So oftentimes for me, I get really busy and I can only do one a day, but TikTok is back to wanting you posting more than one video a day. And so I am in this kind of pickle where I'm like, all right, it's time to get back batch recording so that way I can have more content being posted on TikTok. So they are really wanting you to be posting between 1 to 3 videos a day. Now, that doesn't mean all those videos have to be long videos. And these can be videos that you batch record and you schedule using TikTok desktop. But TikTok does want you posting more times a day. However, one of the things that they are actually desiring is that they're really wanting to see what people are engaging with your content. I'll give you an example. So this here is a desk tripod. It's all folded up right now, but it's a desk tripod. And let's just say I create a video, a 30-second video, or even a 10-second video talking about this desk tripod. Well, TikTok is going to allow whomever is going to watch that video to watch that video, right? And then when they come back onto the platform a little bit later on that day, they are going to try to send them more of your content that they will be interested in, right? And so what TikTok is deeming as successful content is that, let's just say I create 3 videos about this tripod. It may not be the same the same video in the same day, but they're really wanting you to create multiple pieces of content around the same topic, okay? I'll give an example. So let's just say that I talk about this tripod in one video, and then I see people commenting on that video and they're asking questions. And so tomorrow I have a video that posts that is a response to a comment from the original video. Well, what's going to happen there is that because you watched the first video, TikTok is going to send you out the second video, okay? So then if people respond to that second video and then I do a third video that next day, when you log back onto TikTok, TikTok is going to send you that third content. It's kind of like, you know how we watch some of these accounts on TikTok and they say something, they're like, I'll tell you what happens tomorrow once whatever happens. And then when you log back on TikTok, now they've got the part 2 for you to be able to watch. And so you're going to find that your content is going to do best if you are talking about a particular subject, but you are kind of staying on that subject in your content over the next couple of days. That doesn't mean it's the only thing you have to post. It just means that if this person is interested in video 1, and then now you've got video 2, if you create that video in response to kind of video 1, then TikTok is going to send that content back to that same person. So that way, the people that are choosing to engage with you and watch your content continue to experience the things that they already have told TikTok that they want to experience. So what is my strategy? My strategy now is to go, okay, if I'm creating a video about this brand new TikTok feature, okay, then my job is to go, okay, I talk about this feature today here. Now, what update can I give tomorrow around that same topic? That way, the people that watched it yesterday can be sent the second video, okay? Then what is the update video that I can create around the same first video in a third video, okay? Being very strategic with your content. Now, what that does is it allows you to not have to come up with a million ideas because you've got 3 videos from the one idea and you're giving TikTok what it wants, but you're also giving people on the platform who have already showed you what they're interested in. It's going to give them exactly what they are interested in because now it's giving them the part 2. So you want to be posting multiple times a day, but you want to be adding on to things, okay? So like I have one video on my other account on TikTok creating the cucumber recipe from Logan. And it's beneficial if I continue to create more updated videos with cucumbers because people have already shown that they enjoy that piece of content that I created around that cucumber recipe. And I can say, okay, I made it again, but this time I did this. Okay, I made it again, and this time I did this. And that continues to give people what it is they want to experience. The second thing that has changed with TikTok is that they want you to diversify the type of content that you are creating. So obviously we know that TikTok wants short video content, long content, horizontal content, but they also want you to do image-based carousel posts, which we've talked about before. And that's basically where you're taking images of yourself and you're telling stories on those images. But now they are adding music to those images. So I just recently, today, I'll see where the video is, I created a image-based carousel post. I actually created it for Instagram in Canva. And I said, okay, I'm gonna tell that same story on TikTok. But what I decided to do was I said, let me see what sound TikTok would add to this particular post. And they actually did a really good job with taking the audio that would go well with that post. And so as of right now, that image-based carousel post has 147 views on it, and it has 13 likes, which is great, right? We're going to continue to let it do what it's going to do there, right? And so if you're going to have more success with TikTok right now, you're going to want to figure out how can you create image-based carousel posts that can tell your story, what it is you do, how it is that you do it on TikTok in that way. But they also want you using more CapCut memes, okay? They want you to go inside of CapCut, choose those memes, add videos to them, add images to them, maybe even use some of the AI on the inside of CapCut and creating these videos and posting them over on TikTok because people love them, right? And so that's the type of content that you don't really have to think about as much, because you get to get the inspiration over from CapCut, all right? You don't have to do a whole lot of fancy editing, because it basically tells you what to do there, right? And that's the stuff that TikTok wants right now. So if you're gonna have success, okay, you can do long, you can do short, you can do horizontal, but also use the CapCut memes, and also make sure you are doing image-based carousel posts. Another thing that TikTok is focused on this month and last month and the last month is more live stream. So if you log on to TikTok right now, you're going to see more people live than you are ads. Okay, you're going to see more people live than our ads, than our videos, because they are rewarding people for spending time on the platform. And the people that are spending the most time, their content is being pushed out. So strongly recommend that if your goal this month is to grow, is to get more eyeballs on you and your content, you have got to go live, okay? I recommend that you go live for at least 20 minutes. I personally am working on my schedule so that I can go live on a regular basis again every day for 20 minutes across all platforms, because all of them enjoy when we go live, not just TikTok, but specifically today's conversation is all about TikTok. If you're trying to maximize on your time there and get your biggest bang for your buck, you definitely got to go live. Now, that means you got to figure out what you could talk about on your live stream. And what you really talk about on live is, what is your content about, right? If you are someone that does a lot of makeup tutorials, then talk about makeup. If you talk about business or fitness or whatever you talk about, you want to talk about those things that you normally talk about. That way you are able to connect with your audience based upon what they already know you for. And then TikTok can send out your live stream to the people that will be interested in what it is that you're talking about. Another thing that TikTok has continued focus on this month is all about SEO, because people come over to TikTok to search for things. And so if people are searching for a thing and you have your videos indexed properly, then you're going to find yourself with more people seeing your content. Now, what does that mean? That means that if someone comes to TikTok and they search how to wear green with red, and your videos are not indexed how to wear green with red, then you're not as likely for people to see your videos when it comes up in search. But if you go to like the text on your video, if you say it in your video and your description, your hashtags, and your keywords, and it says how to wear green, red with green or green with red, then when people search, you're going to be one of the first people that comes up, because they are doing a particular search, and then here you come. Same thing that happens on Google, same thing that happens on YouTube. It's the same thing that's happening on TikTok. Another thing you have to focus on is you got to focus on audience retention. Okay. Now, what that means is that you've got to get more people to continue watching your entire video. Okay. You've got to get more people to continue watching your video or looking at your memes or your carousels. Okay. That means that the moment people land on your content, you've got to get at least 70% of people to watch the first 3 seconds or more. If everybody's scrolling away after 1 second or 2 seconds, that video has very low retention, and the video is not going to perform as well as you want it to perform. So you've got to focus in on your hook. That first 1 to 2 seconds, that is going to cause people to stop and actually watch your content or read your carousel posts, because that is the retention. You want to initially get 70% of people to watch the first 3 seconds, and then you want to get at least 50% of people to watch at least half of your video. That means you've got to get to the art of storytelling. You've got to get people watching and keep them watching. If your video is a very short video, like a 7-second video, you've got to get at least 70% of people to watch the whole thing. Okay. If your video is a short video, you've got to get at least 70% of people to watch the whole thing, because otherwise TikTok is like, here's these short videos. Nobody's watching them. We're not going to keep pushing them out. So you've got to focus on retention. And then the last thing you want to focus on this month is your trending audios, but very differently. So what we are experiencing is that, of course, we have these audios that are trending, and then we add these songs to our videos. But now what is happening on TikTok is that you want to go into the actual sound, and you want to make sure that there are people within your niche. using that particular sound in that particular way. Okay, so if you got, let's just say, Kendrick Lamar, and you're trying to add They Not Like Us to one of your videos, and there's nobody in your niche using that sound, then you're going to find yourself with that video not performing as well, because trending audios are being sent out to people that are using audios and engaging with content with that audio. So if 99% of the videos are around fashion with that audio, and your video is about business, and all these fashion people get your video, they're not going to watch it, because they clicked on the video because they thought it was about fashion, because that's how most people are using the audio. But you're over here doing this over here, your video is not going to perform as well. Now, we all used to just use trending audios any way we wanted to, but that's not working anymore. So here's what you want to do. When you hear an audio or trending audio, click in the audio and see how are most people using this audio. And you want to make sure that some people in your niche are using that audio and that they have views on their content. If you're trying to go viral with that particular sound, then you want to look to see, has anyone gone viral with this sound over the last 24 to 48 hours? Because if somebody went viral a week ago, 2 weeks ago, the audio isn't trending anymore. You want to find, is when people are using this within my niche, is it causing people to get a lot of views? If that is the case, add it away. Okay. Now you might be saying, well, how do I know if most people in my niche aren't using these audios? Well, there's potential, especially as a business person, that most people are not using that audio. So in that case, I wouldn't necessarily focus on trending audios, because your posts are gonna reach the wrong people, and they're not gonna watch, and your retention is gonna go down. Okay, so you can more so focus on just good audio tracks. You can focus on your hooks, focus on the retention in other ways, and not in the trending audios. Because again, if you click on a trend and you know it's supposed to go in this way, and your video is going in this way, more than likely you're not going to continue watching that video, because it's not what you thought it was going to be when you clicked on it. So you want to think about that when you're adding these audios. Now, if you're someone and you're saying to yourself, this is great with TikTok, but I'm just getting started with TikTok, then I want to invite you to our 3-day Instagram Reels and TikTok challenge. This is where I'm going to be coaching you for the next 3 days, teaching you how to create amazing content on Reels and TikTok to grow an audience and make money. Okay. All you want to do is you can go to the show notes or description here on YouTube. It's KenyaKelly.com/challenge. It's a free challenge that you can join. It starts on Monday, August the 26th. So you want to hurry up, because time is running out with that. And then I would love to coach you for the next 3 days. And so thank you so much for listening and watching.